Hey everyone, I'm John Lynn, the founder and chief editor at Healthcare IT Today, and we're excited to bring you another in our series of interviews with top leaders in health IT. And we're here with Wes Cronkite. He's Chief Technology and Innovation Officer at TruBridge. Welcome, Wes.
Thank you, John. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself and TruBridge.
Yeah, so I've been with TruBridge for 3 years. Been in the healthcare industry for almost 20 now. Really, after how we can help providers that are kind of struggling with keeping their doors open. That's been my passion play, and doing that through a variety of technologies and helping to modernize those techs. So that's a bit about me. TruBridge is in that business and game as well, specific to the rural and community market. And so we've got, I think, 60 to 70% of that customer base.
Wow.
It's in some form of our technology and services, and we're just trying to help them clear the way for care.
That's awesome. Well, we're here at your user conference, and you just got off stage talking about the TRAIN program. What is that? What does it stand for? Talk about who's involved, and talk about what this initiative hopes to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is the overall goal is to get a responsible AI network out there for healthcare. It stands for Trustworthy and Responsible AI Network, and it includes a consortium of different thought leaders that are kind of coming together on their own, knowing that we need some controls and governance around how AI will impact healthcare, and ensuring that there aren't any negative consequences and negative outcomes out of that. So I'm very excited to be a part of that and be a member of the group.
Nice. And TruBridge is one of 3 industry members of TRAIN, this consortium. Why did TruBridge decide to participate, and talk to us about your role in the program?
Yeah, sure. So I think, again, with our customer base being primarily rural and community, we need to make sure that the goodness of AI makes it that far, and that it isn't gobbled up by the larger IDNs that are out there and can truly get to those that need the help out in these communities where there is a lot of struggle to get to data and insights, and also a lot of administrative burden on their shoulders. So that's really what got us to be excited to participate, and also feel it's very critical for the data behind the scenes to be represented in this network, so that things don't get biased, because that can happen with some of these AI models.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, responsible AI is a topic that's being discussed everywhere, right? And how do we use it? But I think it's interesting to add in that rural element. As we mentioned, we're here at your user conference called Next Step. There's hundreds of rural and community healthcare facilities that are visiting. What would you tell them, as far as what these often smaller healthcare organizations, by nature of being rural, what should they be doing to prepare for AI, and what steps should they be taking now?
I think they need to just really start thinking about where they need the help, and being able to think of AI as a path there that isn't scary. And again, that's why this governance is going to be stood up, to ensure that we're being very safe as we move down this journey. But starting to look there and understand, hey, this is an opportunity I have to get something off my plate, and come to us as partners to help them solve for that. Don't feel like that's on their shoulders as well. We can take in that input, understand what their needs are, and help them with the investment we made in the technology stack to get it happening.
Interesting. And are there any unique risks that, like rural and community facilities need to consider when it comes to these AI tools?
Yeah, I saw an example of one recently where it was around sepsis diagnosis, and using some of the AI models that are out there to kind of predict and understand that. And the population, just from a general kind of race perspective, missed the fact that there was a whole entire race that was getting affected by the sepsis diagnosis that wasn't showing up in the data, because it was only a particular area where there wasn't that much of that race. So those types of situations really have to be very cautious of ensuring the data that you have feeding these represents the broad population, and isn't going to bias itself towards one area or another.
That's really interesting. I mean, I think that was the thing that stood out to me when you were on stage, was we need to make sure that the rural health data is there to train these AI models. Like, you could almost argue that rural populations are their own unique demographic. Yeah. Is that what you're seeing as you kind of dive into this data?
Yeah, unique demographic, but also very much in need of these types of solutions. So there's that piece of it, and then there's the fact that we want to be at the table as these are being built, to ensure it will fit the rural market, and that we can deliver the value that's going to come out of these. Being able to do that, in a quick and fast and safe way, to get our customers that value.
Yeah, well, it's great you're being involved. I mean, I think back to, like if you trained in Boston, you may not understand the real environment because you trained
Right.
in a very big population, right? So, hopefully we don't do the same with our AI models that we did with some of our doctors, right?
Agreed.
So it's fascinating to see. Talk to us about how TruBridge is helping your customers move forward with AI. What's on your roadmap for kind of helping them out with AI?
Yeah, aside from this kind of network and what we're going to learn and achieve through that, we have been through our Dream Factory Innovation Hub, really putting our hands on the AI and have used our Microsoft ecosystem to connect directly up to OpenAI, but have it fed from our data in a safe and secure way, so it never leaves our environment. But we're still very much in the early stages of sorting out customer value. One area that we feel is safe enough to get rolling with is helping with some of the support and training needed for our platform that is pretty wide and broad, and being able to have clinicians that hit the system for the first time interact with some form of AI chatbot experience to say,
Interesting.
well, now I can get myself trained up without having to read books of material and release guides and approach it that way. So.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think what's amazing about AI is that there's almost no area that it can't be applied to, whether it's training, whether it's outreach to patients, whether it's RCM, whether it's clinical documentation, et cetera.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the power and beauty of AI.
Yeah, I think more
And the challenge.
Yeah, more is to come. But like you said, it's a two-headed sword. There's the challenge on the other side as well. So.
Yeah. So is there something about AI, you're obviously in charge of innovation at TruBridge. Is there something about AI that not enough people are talking about that you think more people should?
I think that just the general use in your day-to-day work, honestly. I think that with a little bit of training and adoption and a little bit of putting in some extra time to understand how to prompt it, how to ask the right questions, how to get out the answers, I feel like a lot of folks hit a very quick, well, that's not accurate, I'm not going to use it moment with some of these solutions. But if you kind of thought a little bit about how to ask the question with more specificity, getting deeper into what you're looking for, it'll typically get its way there. So I feel like overall, across all functions, either healthcare providers, technology companies, just embedding it into the day-to-day would just help streamline and gain efficiency very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to have a choice, don't you? I mean, like in our personal lives,
so.
AI is going to infiltrate what we do, right?
Yes.
Like I'm not going to go on the app to order pizza anymore. I'm going to ask AI to order me a pizza, and I'm going to learn how to be specific in my request, to your point, right?
Exactly.
Like I think it sounds like that's what you're saying. We need to learn and understand in our jobs as well.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wes, this was a lot of fun. It's interesting to see. I mean, I think we're still at the beginning of AI, but it's great to see you coming together with other partners like Microsoft that you talked about in the TRAIN program to make sure we're doing it responsibly and taking care of patients and rural patients in particular. So thanks so much, Wes, and thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you want to find more great healthcare IT content like this, be sure to check it out at healthcareittoday.com or search for Healthcare IT Today on your favorite podcast applications. Thanks, Wes.
Thank you. It's great to be here.